Minnesota Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah hasn't been shy this offseason about showing veterans the door, getting rid of guys that he thinks were underperforming, and signing guys that he thinks that can do the damn job at a myriad of positions. But the offensive line has stayed exactly the same as it was last season. The Vikings are holding fast with their top 11, and even though last season Kirk Cousins had a career high in pressures, 269, not nice, as well as a career high in sacks, 46, and the running game was relatively inert. They were 27th in the league in rushing yards and 26 in yards per carry. Kwesi's like, we got to bring it on back. That's right. So it started with bringing back Garrett Bradbury on a 3-year deal. Now, I understand it, because if Bradbury had left, we're going to replace him in free agency. As well as Bradbury is still young at 27 and still is full of potential, yes. But also, if they would have let him go, that would have left a massive hole for the Vikings heading into the draft. And then looking at the rest of the crew, like we said, they brought back their top 11 from last year. So left to right, starters: Darrisaw, yes. Ezra, Bradbury, Ed Ingram, as well as Brian O'Neill, hopefully knocking on all the wood, going to recover quickly from that Achilles. And a lot of the issues along the offensive line last year were the guards at Ezra Cleveland. Even though heading into year 4, him transitioning from being a left tackle, he's done okay at times. Last year, not so much. Ed Ingram, yes, second-round pick, Kwesi's draft pick, by the way. And yes, he played every single snap last year, but had some growing pains, improved a little bit at the end. And Kwesi, analytics driven, yes, but also there's some ego there. And of course, he's not going to replace his guy that he spent a second-round pick on and played every single snap offensively last year. And then guys that they brought back are in blue. So Blake Brandel, exclusive rights free agent, is going to be that swing backup tackle, or at least a backup to left tackle Christian Darrisaw. Brandel filled in nicely when Darrisaw was out with concussions. That makes sense. Josh Sokol, the UDFA last year from Sacred Hat, is obviously back on a futures deal. Austin Schlutman they brought back, the veteran swing interior backup. Chris Reed is back at a reduced rate, as well as Oli Udoh was re-signed to a 1-year deal. And then, of course, they got Vidarian Lowe, last year's day 3 selection, coming out of Illinois. So, I mean, even though the Vikings obviously had offensive line issues last year, Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell must think that, mama, I can change him. And last year was a bit of an aberration, and they can certainly tighten things up in 2023. Injuries certainly would help, because Darrisaw missed time with injury, Bradbury missed time with injury, Brian O'Neill missed time with injury. So your top 3 guys all missing games, and if everyone can stay healthy and have another year of continuity in the similar system, maybe things can get better. So understand it from that regard. But heading into the draft, I mean, it shouldn't disqualify the Vikings from prioritizing interior offensive line. And if the guy on the board is your top pick, take him, right? So you're looking at Osiris Torrance. If the Vikings want to make a shift to more power up front, I think that he would be a nice replacement for Ezra Cleveland. Cody Mauch, of course, is going to have versatility all over the place. John Michael Schmitz is regarded as the best center in the draft. Obviously, Bradbury is back, but having some insurance long term would make sense. And there's a lot of really good Big Ten centers coming in this year. Whippler from Ohio State, Oluwatimi coming in Michigan, who I think is severely underrated, massively underrated, as well as Tippmann, the massive center from Wisconsin. So, I mean, there's some nice players in terms of looking for pure guards in Torrance, Avila, as well as Zavala. Voorhees is coming in off of a torn ACL, but he should be good to go probably in 2024, but his upside is certainly there. I didn't even mention Juice Scruggs in terms of Big Ten centers. It's a big year for Big Ten centers, man. And, of course, Mauch is going to be all over the place in terms of versatility. His role in the NFL probably won't be tackle, but TBD if it's going to be guard or center. But like I said, I mean, the moves that Kwesi has made so far, basically running it back with the unit from last year, suggests that him, Kevin O'Connell, offensive line coach Chris Cooper are relatively happy with what happened last year, even though this happened last year. But obviously they think that they can fix him. Mama, I can change him. That whole thing. But your thoughts are thoughts. Is Kwesi happy with the offensive line depth? Will they not even draft offensive linemen, much to the chagrin of a lot of Vikings fans? Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.